seems like we might not be having no damn 2026 season. WNBPA statement regarding strike authorization vote. Thursday, December 18th, 2025. The players have spoken through a decisive vote. With historic participation, our membership has authorized WNBPA's executive committee to call a strike when...
This isn't the first time the owners have publicly accused the players of misrepresenting the negotiations. About 3 weeks ago, the league submitted what they called a comprehensive offer to the union, laying out their proposals and commitments. For 3 weeks, the players didn't respond. When the owners finally spoke up, pointing out that the union had gone silent while simultaneously complaining publicly that negotiations weren't progressing, it created the same tense dynamic we're seeing now. On one side, the league says, "We're actively trying to negotiate and presenting real offers." On the other, the players are publicly claiming they aren't being given what they deserve. This back and forth has become a recurring pattern. Both sides feel justified in their positions, and both are calling out the other publicly. The result is a very visible and growing standoff, with tension mounting every day. What started as behind-the-scenes discussions about fairness, salaries, and working conditions has escalated into a high-stakes showdown that fans, analysts, and everyone involved in the WNBA are now watching closely. The league and the union are digging in, and the longer this continues, the more uncertain the future of the season becomes. This isn't just negotiation drama, it's a battle for the league's direction.
That means the players have said, look, go, push the strike button whenever you feel necessary. If they not doing what we want, push that damn red button, blow it up, strike. It says time and again, the players' thoughtful, reasonable approach has been met by the WNBA and its teams with resistance to change. Damn. Wow. It says they have provisions that are unfair, restricting players for nearly 3 decades.
Let's break down what's really on the table, because the gap between the two sides is enormous. The owners have proposed an economic model that would give players less than 15% of the league's revenue. The players, on the other hand, are asking for 30%. This isn't a simple negotiation gap. It's a clash of completely different visions for the future of the WNBA. What makes the situation even more complicated is the financial reality of the league. For most of its history, the WNBA has struggled to turn a profit. The owners argue that their model is designed to keep the league financially sustainable, while the players insist that fair compensation should reflect their value and the growth the league has seen in recent years. This divide isn't just about numbers, it's about what each side believes the league should be. One side wants to prioritize long-term financial stability, even if it limits player earnings. The other wants to reward the athletes directly for their talent and the league's success. With stakes this high, it's clear that resolving this conflict will take more than standard negotiations. Fans, players, and the league itself are now watching closely, knowing that every decision could reshape the WNBA.
Owners put out a response. So the owners are not going away quietly, and this is what they said. We are aware that the players have voted to authorize the WNBPA executive committee to call a strike if the executive committee decides to take that step in the future. While we acknowledge the players' right to authorize a future work stoppage, we strongly disagree with the WNBPA's characterization of the current state of negotiations, which fundamentally misrepresents the ongoing discussions taking place.
The league's latest proposal includes a $1 million supermax salary, and with their revenue-sharing model, that number could rise to $1.2 million. Average player earnings would be around $417,000, with the possibility of climbing above $500,000 thanks to revenue sharing. By almost any measure, these are significant increases compared to the current collective bargaining agreement. The owner's message is clear. Look at how much we're offering to raise your salaries. They want to show the players that they're making substantial financial commitments. But the players are pushing back with an entirely different perspective. Their argument is, look at how much revenue the league is generating and how little of it we're actually receiving. This isn't just a disagreement over dollars. It's a debate over fairness, value, and what the league stands for. On one side, the owners emphasize financial sustainability and structured increases. On the other, the players focus on the league's growth and their role in creating that success. Both sides have legitimate points, but the clash is intense. With such a wide gap in perspective and priorities, it's clear that finding a compromise will take serious effort, and the outcome will likely reshape the WNBA for years to come.
They're calling the players liars again, just like they called out them for not responding when they sent the comprehensive offer and the players didn't respond for 3 weeks. And they said, hey, we've been sending these players offers. They haven't been responding to us, but they're going online and acting like we're not negotiating. No, they're not negotiating. The owners just completely.
There's another layer making this situation even more urgent: deadlines. The collective bargaining agreement was originally set to expire on November 30th, but the sides agreed to extend it to January 9th. That extension has created serious ripple effects. For example, the expansion draft that was supposed to take place on December 6th never happened. Now it's December 18th, and free agency is just around the corner. The entire offseason is effectively frozen. Teams can't plan their rosters, players can't negotiate new contracts, and new expansion teams can't start building their lineups. What started as a debate over salaries and revenue sharing has now become a logistical crisis. The league's normal operations are in limbo, and every delay adds pressure to both sides. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about whether the 2026 season can even happen at all. If the standoff continues, the WNBA risks derailing an entire year of basketball, affecting players, teams, and fans alike. The stakes have never been higher. With deadlines looming and negotiations stalled, the league faces an unprecedented challenge. How the owners and players resolve this conflict over the next few weeks could determine the future of the entire WNBA.
Doing is putting in money, and they've been making zilchy back. Bro, this is nasty work, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This is nasty work. The owners are calling these players liars. They just responded 15 minutes ago. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. The owners are like, nah, y'all cap. They calling cap. Here it says, owners have offered the players.
Here's something most people don't fully understand about strike authorization votes. The players aren't saying they're walking off the court right now. The union made it clear in their statement that this vote isn't a call for an immediate strike, nor is it a declaration that one will happen. What the players are really doing is handing their executive committee what you might call the nuclear option. They're essentially saying, if the situation gets serious enough, we trust you to take decisive action. It's a tactical move designed to show the owners that the players are united, serious, and willing to escalate if necessary. Normally, this kind of strategy is meant to strengthen the union's position at the bargaining table. But when the owners respond publicly by calling the players liars, it completely flips the script. Instead of demonstrating unity and leverage, the move has drawn a sharp, public confrontation that escalates tensions even further. This is labor negotiation at its most high stakes and dramatic. The players are signaling that they won't be ignored, while the owners are signaling they won't be pushed around. The result is a standoff that's both historic and incredibly tense, with the future of the WNBA hanging in the balance.
And you know that because of this extension, we have missed the draft, the expansion draft. Like that happened December 6th last year. We are currently at December 18th. Free agency is next. I mean, this is a circus, man. This is a circus. Under the terms of the current CBA extension, the union would not be able to call a strike without first terminating the extension.
Then Breanna Stewart stepped into this storm on Wednesday. As the WNBA Players Union vice president and co-founder of Unrivaled, she made a bold statement. She would welcome help from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum at the bargaining table. Her exact words were, "What we're doing right now isn't really getting us anywhere. If that means Adam and Mark need to come to the table, we're more than happy to have that." Think about that for a second. The players' union is so frustrated with WNBA leadership that they're asking outside intervention from the NBA to try and move things forward. But the stakes go far beyond just the 2026 season. The WNBA just experienced its best year ever. Caitlin Clark's rookie season drove record-breaking ratings, with playoffs averaging 1.2 million viewers. Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, and the rest of the rookie class brought unprecedented attention. Sponsors are lining up. Expansion teams are paying $50 million just for the right to join the league, and the Golden State Valkyries are about to start play. This should be a moment of celebration. Yet instead we're watching a very public war between players and owners unfold online and in the press. Here's why that matters. Casual fans don't care about CBAs or revenue-sharing models. They just see conflict. Every delay, every accusation, every headline about a possible...
We really might not have a season. Here it says on Wednesday, Unrivaled co-founder and union vice president Breanna Stewart said she would welcome help from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum at the bargaining table. She was quoted as saying, "What we're doing right now isn't really getting us anywhere," Stewart said. "If that means Adam and Mark need to come to the table, we're more than happy to have that," she said. The league's most recent proposal included a $1 million Supermax base salary and an average of about $417,000 projected earnings.
Meanwhile, players are the product driving this growth. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Breanna Stewart, AJ Wilson, and Sabrina Ionesco are the reason the league is on the map. They argue, "We're creating the value. Why are we being offered less than a third of what NBA players get?" And this is where the gender dynamics become impossible to ignore. The public back and forth, strike authorization vote, and press statements are escalating tensions instead of solving problems. Both sides have valid arguments. Owners want sustainable growth and structured raises. Players want equitable revenue sharing and recognition of their contribution. But the real leverage belongs to fans and sponsors, and a canceled season could undo the WNBA's hard-won momentum. At this point, someone has to step up and negotiate seriously. The question is, who's right? Are the owners justified in protecting financial stability? Or are the players right to demand a fair share for the value they create? The answer isn't simple, but the future of the league depends on it.
Sharing model that would ensure continued salary growth tied to revenue growth. The league remains steadfast in its commitment to reaching an agreement as soon as possible and delivering a 30th season for the players, fans, teams, and partners. We have negotiated in good faith and with urgency and remain focused on finalizing a new collective bargaining agreement that not only meaningfully enhances player benefits and experience, but also does so in a way that ensures long-term growth of the game and the league's capacity to serve the next generation of WNBA players. Long-term, meaning Ada.
On December 18th, 2024, the WNBA Players Association made a bold move. They officially gave their executive committee the power to call a strike. This isn't just a warning or a negotiation tactic. It's a real full strike authorization vote. And they're calling it historic because of how many players participated. This level of involvement is unprecedented and shows just how serious the athletes are about standing up for their rights and demanding change. The response from the team owners came fast, only 15 minutes later. They fired back, publicly accusing the players of lying. The tension is no longer behind closed doors or part of a negotiating strategy. This is real conflict unfolding in front of everyone, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Fans, players, and analysts are all watching closely, realizing that a normal season might not happen. We could very well be looking at a situation where there is number 2025 WNBA season if this escalates. The atmosphere around the league has shifted dramatically. What started as discussions about conditions and fairness has now erupted into an open standoff, and the outcome is uncertain. Both sides are dug in, and the basketball world is holding its breath.
Look, this is a show. That's what this is. It looks like the players are willing and ready to go on a strike. And the owners, they're not begging them, they're calling them liars. They said, You guys are misrepresenting the state of our negotiations. These have been negotiations that are fair. Our offers have been fair. They have been offers in good faith. And you guys are misrepresenting our stance on this entire situation for the WNBA.
Let that sink in for a moment. The Players Union just released a statement saying that their approach has been thoughtful and fair, but it's been met with resistance from the league. They accused the WNBA of trying to divide the players, undermine their influence, and devalue their contributions. Those are strong words, and they weren't holding anything back. It's clear the players are fed up and ready to stand their ground. But here's where it gets really intense. The team owners didn't step back. They didn't try to calm the situation or find common ground. Instead, they fired back with their own statement, one that directly contradicts everything the players said. This isn't a normal disagreement anymore. It's a full-blown clash, with each side publicly challenging the other. The tension in the league is now visible for everyone. Fans, analysts, and players alike are watching as this standoff escalates. What started as discussions about fairness and respect has turned into a high-stakes confrontation. Both sides are digging in, and neither seems willing to compromise. The atmosphere around the WNBA has shifted dramatically, and no one can predict how this showdown will end. The owners have officially responded, and make no mistake, they're not backing down quietly. Their statement makes it clear that they're ready to stand their ground. Here's what they said. We are aware that the players have voted to authorize the WNBA Executive Committee to call a strike if the committee chooses to take that step in the future. While we fully acknowledge the players' right to consider a work stoppage, we strongly disagree with the WNBA's portrayal of the current negotiations. In simpler terms, the owners are saying they recognize the players' legal right to strike, but they take issue with how the union is describing the state of talks. According to the owners, the union's statements misrepresent what is actually happening at the bargaining table. This is a pointed rebuttal and highlights just how deep the divide has become between the two sides. This public back and forth is far from typical labor negotiation language. It shows that neither side is willing to soften their stance or give ground easily. With the players prepared to act and the owners openly disputing their claims, the WNBA faces an uncertain future. The league, the players, and the fans are now all caught in the middle of a very tense standoff. The league's response is harsh, almost brutal. They pointed out that it's hard to understand the union's claims that the league is resisting change, especially when they're offering major, immediate salary increases and introducing a new uncapped revenue-sharing model. Essentially, the league is saying, "We're making real moves. How can you claim we're not?" Then they went further, stating that the union's description of the situation fundamentally misrepresents the ongoing discussions at the bargaining table. Put simply, they're accusing the union of lying about what's actually happening in these negotiations. This isn't the usual corporate language designed to soften a disagreement. No, this is a direct public call-out. The tone of the statement makes it clear that the owners are prepared to defend their position aggressively. They're not tiptoeing around the accusations. They're confronting them head-on. This back and forth has escalated beyond standard labor negotiations, turning into a very public standoff. The players are standing firm, the league is fighting back, and the fans are left watching a tense battle unfold. The situation is volatile, and every statement from either side seems to push the WNBA closer to a potential strike.